Good morning, all. Good morning, Anup. I welcome you all on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English. I extend my warmest regards to those who are watching me live and those who are continuing these sessions with me as per their convenience. I welcome you all to this very special endeavor wherein I, as your primary faculty, myself being Pritesh Mathurkar, will take the complete analysis of the present day's newspaper, and that analysis will be utilizing from a utilitarian perspective with regards to prelims and mains. So this analysis will serve as your bedrock. This analysis will serve as your most potent material for scoring maximum marks in both prelims and mains. So in prelims, I tend to target roughly 30 to 40 marks. In mains, I roughly intend to target 100 to 300 marks. And if GS paper 3 essay comes in our purview, then we can extend that coverage to 400 to 500 marks even. And in this analysis session, I'll be also focusing on structuring of your answers, on vocabulary of your answers, and also how you present those answers to the invigilator. So we will try to point out the different aspects of the analysis, whether it is critical, whether it is positive, what are the aspects where the article is lacking, where the issue is lacking, what is the ideal way forward, what is the future scope. So all of the things we will be discussing in these sessions. Why we have to do this? Because civil services examination is an ever evolving examination, and the typical workflow is like this. So I discussed the present day articles of Hindu in a relevant PDF format. Morning Nida, morning Aditi, and all of these PDFs are readily available to you the moment these sessions end on an open Telegram group, which the details of which will be given after the session, and you are able to join that. So 1 hour with me, half hour with the group, done. 1.5 hours, your current affairs, your analysis of newspaper is done. And trust me guys, this will give you immense confidence. This will instill confidence in you that yes, you can very easily sell through the most difficult examination of the Asia Pacific, that is the civil services examination. Okay, so let's start our today's session. And as I promised, each session will begin with a very good quote. Each session will begin with a very thought-provoking proverb or a quote by a famous person. So today's quote is by, I guess you must be knowing this person, William Shakespeare. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So today's quote is by a person called as William Shakespeare. Just wait a bit, guys. Let me just refresh it. Yeah. So to be or not to be, that is the question. Okay. So William Shakespeare argues over here that what should we do if the things are not going in the way we suppose them to? If the things are not going in our way, if every circumstance is acting against us, so what should we do? Should we sit? Should we just keep on thinking? Should we just blame the luck? Should we just blame everyone? Or whether we should stand, whether we should instill vigor in ourselves, whether we should instill confidence in ourselves that yes, whatever the circumstance may be, we can overcome those circumstances. So this is basically a thought-provoking proverb where if this proverb comes in your essays, so you will have to give for argument and against arguments too. So to be or not to be, whether we should pick up arms and fight or whether we should stay still, let the tough get going. Okay, let the circumstances evade, let the time flow. It is ultimately in our hand. So it is basically what you do and what you do not do. If you feel that everything is going against you, that whatever you do, everything is just coming back in the opposite direction, so it's better that you stay low. It's better that you let the time flow, you let the water flow under the bridge, and once you feel that now enough water has flown under the bridge, you should pick up arms and you should start fighting in the battlefield. Okay, so to be or not to be, that will always be the question. Okay, how you resolve this question, how you basically put yourselves in the situation and how you resolve those situations will determine what great character you become. Okay, so again, I would like to quote the most famous character which I find most encouraging, most motivating. Sorry, my bad. It's a very negative character, but I do have great respect for Adolf Hitler. Why? Because Adolf Hitler was working in a construction company. He used to sleep on bare bricks. Okay, so sleeping on those bare bricks, he dreamt that why Germans are suffering, why my people are suffering, I need to do something now. So he thought, he did, he became the Chancellor of Germany, and today every goddamn person in the world knows his name. So that is the question, to be or not to be. It's up to you guys. You instill confidence in yourself, you march ahead, and if you feel that the situations are not going fine, you can basically stop, you can basically stay low for a while and then come with the most vigor. Okay. Good morning, Rishika. Thank you for joining me in the morning. I know that these sessions are a little bit difficult, but thank you for instilling trust in me. So let's start today's articles, guys. All of you know the modus operandi that we have. So if I tend to paint a severity score today, if I tend to give you how important the articles are, so Anup, Nidha, Aditi and Rishika, today's articles are having severity score 10. Okay, extremely important articles, very important articles, and you have different fields from today's articles are coming. So one article is with regards to maternity health, another article it's with regards to the spurious liquor, the huge tragedy that is happening in India on an aggravated basis. Another article is with regards to the changing tactics of the non-state actors, the changing tactics of the terrorist outfits, of the militants in the Jammu and Kashmir. And another article is a headline article, but that article too is very important from prelims perspective. So today's severity score is full 10 on 10. So complete check mark. Please understand whatever I will be teaching you, whatever I will be sharing with you. Okay. And anytime if you feel that, sir, we are not confident, anytime you feel that, sir, things are not going fine, it's your duty to pause and stop me and ask me. Okay. So for the first time today, guys, I am discussing the data point with you. Remember, I told you in the first session of Hindu analysis that on the op-ed page, you do have a data point, and just 1 or 2 data points per month will be enough. So this is the first data point that I'm discussing with you, but this data point, you shouldn't focus on the data. You should analyze the data, because it's not important to quote the data, it's important to analyze the data and put a research forward, okay, to put a future scope forward. Okay, so make sure that whatever analysis I'm giving you, it is going into your head and you are comfortable with the maternity healthcare situation in India. Because guys, this is very important. Now we are the most populous country on earth. Okay, there was a saying, hum do hamare do, but now we don't know how much we have basically. So now we being the most populous country, now we are the youngest country in the world, we have rich demographic dividend, it becomes very important that we work on the maternity health. Okay, especially the girls in this class, morning Stuti, please get this properly, and also the boys, because it's not the duty of girls only, it's the duty of boys too, that you take care of your wife, you take care of your better half when she is pregnant. So basically, again, this article is both a positive article as well as a negative article. Positive article in the way that this article will inform you as to how you should take care, as to what benefits you can reap in if you take proper care. And negative article, the patriarchal mindset of the Indian society. Okay, it's basically the apathy of the husband, the apathy of the family. Apathy means lack of interest. Why we need to do this? There is no need to do this, and lack of money. So apathy and lack of money, these two things will again impact the maternity healthcare. So let's begin with the discussion. So apathy of family and high cost hinder maternity healthcare. Okay, so if I move ahead, there are 3 major interventions that help reduce maternal deaths. Maternal deaths is a very potent issue in India. Okay, recently there was a survey by United Nations. That survey painted a very grim picture for India. Remember, we don't need to quote the survey. Okay, you all know United Nations is kind of a biased organization, so they tend to picture India in always a negative territory. So don't need to worry with regards to that. Just remember that India is having one of the highest maternity deaths in Asia Pacific region. So we need to do something with regards to that. Now, what are the 3 major interventions for preventing maternal deaths? This is of prime importance. Okay, so number first is 4 antenatal care visits or ANC visits during pregnancy. So if you are pregnant, okay, So you have to do 4 antenatal visits to the clinics. Next, after this visits, after giving during childbirth, you need to have a skilled attendant at birth. Okay, because why? If the attendant is not skilled, and if during labor or during the childbirth something goes wrong, so who will ensure the safety of the child and the mother? So number first parameter for preventing maternal deaths is 4 antenatal visits during pregnancy. Remember the number 4. Next, you need to have a skilled attendant at birth, and lastly, you need to receive postnatal care after childbirth within first 2 days. So within first 2 days, you need to receive what? Postnatal care. So antenatal daycare visits 4 times during pregnancy. You need to have a skilled attendant at childbirth, and number 4, just after giving birth, you need to have postnatal care visits within first 2 days. So these are very important for what? For preventing maternal deaths. So now this data point argues that why antenatal care is so goddamn important. Okay. So please listen to this. During antenatal care, health workers educate women about complications during pregnancy and labor and after childbirth. So basically, it is better to be informed, it is better to be educated that what complications can lie ahead. Okay, because if you are not aware of the complications and if you start panicking, remember, stress is very important thing during pregnancy. If the mother gets stressed, then it directly affects the childbirth. So controlling the stress, controlling the fear is very important. Okay, so complications during pregnancy and labor and after childbirth, these visits also help women get access to micronutrient supplementation. You remember I discussed the hunger issues of India. You remember hidden hunger? So we did discuss micronutrient supplementation, iron and folic acid supplements to prevent anemia, and seek treatment for hypertension to prevent eclampsia and to get immunization against tetanus and other endemic diseases. So during the antenatal visits, you are not only educated, but you are also given micronutrient supplementation. You can also seek treatment for hypertension. Hypertension, like it's not easy to give birth. Okay, you have to carry the baby for 9 months, and in that you have complete change in the hormonal cycle of the female. So it affects their psyche a lot. Okay, see, this is where things go south. Okay, in Indian society, childbirth is majorly associated with physical health, but nobody thinks about the mental health of the women. And mental health of women is one of the primary reasons why childbirth does not go in the planned manner. Why? Because if you start getting stressed, your hormonal cycle becomes highly imbalanced and that affects on the baby. So acknowledging that yes, mental health during pregnancy is very much of prime importance has to be done in Indian society, and that is what is done globally. So globally, if you go to the most advanced democracies, if you go to the most advanced countries like Nordic countries, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, so their mental health is also discussed. So you can seek treatment for hypertension and you can get immunizations against tetanus and other endemic diseases. So this is the benefit in the antenatal visits. So 4 antenatal visits before pregnancy, before childbirth. Okay, now let us understand why there is a problem in India. Okay, so roughly 6.1% of mothers did not even go for even one ANC visit during their recent pregnancy. Just imagine, 6% of mothers, according to the data, according to the survey, did not even go for even one single visit, while 34% of them went twice or thrice, which is less than 4 visits recommended by WHO. So if I am painting a picture that the survey is saying that roughly 35% of the women did not go for the recommended 4 ANC visits as recommended by WHO, and there was also a urban-rural divide. Okay, so only 39.9% of mothers who had no school education completed 4 ANC visits compared to 70% of those completed 12 years of schooling. So here education is a very important factor. If you are educated, you understand the importance of supplementation, you understand the importance of seeking interventions when you are stressed. So just remember this, just analyze this, that education will play a very, very major role in all of you seeking the ANC visits, in all of you getting well informed. Okay, So urban rural divide, again what? So in rural areas, women did not go for ANC visits at all, whereas in urban areas, most of the ladies completed the 4 ANC visits. Okay, a much higher share of mothers from the wealthier households and a relatively high share of upper caste completed 4 ANC visits. So urban households and upper caste. So guys, here again caste based discussion is coming, but we need to quote this data that upper caste women did complete the 4 ANC visits. Why? Because normally in India the upper caste are more wealthy as compared to the lower caste. So that's a kind of a grim situation that we have. Let's not go into the debate because then it becomes a political and emotive issue. But now for just remember that you have a urban rural divide in seeking the ANC visits. In rural India, the visits are not at all done. In urban India, rather the upper class, the upper caste do complete the visits properly. Okay. So postnatal care within the first 2 days after birth is recommended because mother are in their most vulnerable state in postpartum period 4 to 2 days after childbirth. So when a woman gives birth to a child, okay, so she experiences blood loss, and that blood loss is massive. Okay, and if in that blood loss something goes wrong, in if that childbirth some other complications develop in the mother, so you need to seek postpartum care within first 2 days. Okay, so most maternal and infant deaths occur in the first month after the birth, with almost half of the postnatal maternal deaths occurring within the first 24 hours. Okay, so half of the postnatal maternal deaths, so those women who die after giving birth within first 2 days, around half of them occur within the first 24 hours and 66% occurring during the first week. So this is a global data, so you need to be extremely cautious. Okay, the girls in the class, those who are watching me, please make sure that you are getting this point, that the postnatal maternal care within first 2 days is very, very important. Why? Because staggering 50% of deaths occur within the first 2 days and staggering 66% occur during the first week. Okay, and again there are stark differences among mothers along education levels and wealth status of the households. Again, so if you are educated, if you are from a wealthy household, so you will care, you will seek postnatal daycare, otherwise you will not seek postnatal daycare. And now here comes the catch. Her husbands too are uninformed. Husbands basically have apathy towards all this stuff. Okay, more worryingly, only 50 to 60% of the husbands were informed by a health worker at any time during the pregnancy of the specific signs of pregnancy related complications, and about 64% of them knew what to do if woman had a complication. Okay, so only 64% of them knew what to do if there were complications. So staggering 40% didn't even knew. Okay, so none of the husbands tried to basically we get informed as to what can be done if complications arise. And why this is the apathy of the husband or her family that led to fewer ANC visits. It was either the husband or the family who deemed ANC visits unnecessary or did not allow the woman to visit the daycare center. Money is also an important factor, with just 24.7% citing lack of finance refusing ANC visits. So the family is in apathy, the husband is in apathy, neither the husband is taking the interest, neither the family is taking the interest. Okay, so as a husband, it's his moral duty, rather it's ethical duty to be informed about the complications, to be informed about the importance of ANC visits, to be important about the endemic diseases which the mother can have, which the child can have if proper vaccination and medication is not assured, and most importantly, mental health. Okay, so it's the sole duty of the husband to ensure that the mental health of woman and also the child, once the child is brought, is maintained properly. Okay, so the boys in the class, the future men of the society, those who are listening to me, this is an eye-opening article, because now it's your and our responsibility that we bring in the future generations in the best manner possible and we give them the best possible life. And always remember, brain development happens in the first month. So whatever development happens in the first month, that stays for eternity. So if you want that the future generations of India should be sharp, they should be more educated, they should be intelligent, okay, and they should handle whatever the world is throwing them in the form of climate change, in the form of global civilian unrest, in the form of, let's say, security challenges. Then the postnatal care and prenatal care is of prime importance. Okay, so this was a very eye-opening article today. I hope this article is clear to you. Just summarizing, 4 ANC visits as recommended by WHO, postnatal visit within first 2 days, and you need to have a skilled attendant at childbirth. So this was a very important data point which I thought I should be sharing with you, and use this in GS paper 2. Whenever you have questions on vulnerable sections of society, you have questions on Anganwadi workers, Asha health workers, their conditions. So Asha health workers are very important. Okay, why? Because the Asha healthcare worker will be there at childbirth in the rural India. So importance of Asha healthcare worker, you can correlate with this article too whenever you have question in mains. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now let's discuss the most important article. Finally, this article came in text and context and full page, one page explainer. Okay, so again, my hypothesis has come true. My theory of evolution of the articles has come true. Okay, why spurious recur kills? Okay, those of you who are watching me live, okay, very high chance that this question will be coming in your interview. Okay, why? Because recently, which tragedy, recently killings or recently deaths due to consuming spurious liquors have spiked a lot. So you need to understand how liquor is metabolized in the body, how liquor is digested, and what is the difference between the spurious liquor and normal liquor. Okay, so some of you might enjoy this article because here I'll be discussing what are different types of liquor, how it is digested. So those of you who enjoy drinking, okay, you shouldn't enjoy drinking. Why? Because according to WHO, even a gram or even 1 liter of alcohol in your body is not at all good. Any amount of consumption of alcohol is not good. So again, those of you who enjoy this or those of you who do it for recreational activities, a kind of negative article for you all, but we have to do what is right for the society. So it's a moral obligation, it's an ethical obligation, and it's a obligation on the behalf of you as future civil servants that you need to ensure that this does not happen in India again. Okay, so why spurious liquor kills? So before that, we first need to understand what is alcohol, what is liquor, and how it is metabolized in the body. Okay, so on May 16th, 22 people died in Tamil Nadu. Okay, while more than 30 others were being treated for the which by the poisoning due to which liquor. So now let us understand what is alcohol in the liquor. Okay, so before that, we need to understand what is liquor, what are its different types, and what do you mean by alcohol concentration. Okay, so liquor is basically differentiated into 3 different groups. So liquor you can have with regards to beer. Okay, beer is basically made from fermentation of barley from wheat. So beer will have alcohol concentration. Like if you see the bottle of beer and if you see the alcohol concentration, so the alcohol concentration of beer will range from 5 to 8%. Okay. So after that, liquor is subgrouped into wines. Okay. Wine is basically the fermentation of grapes, fermentation of the citrus fruits. So wines will have alcohol concentration of 12%. And after that, you will have a group called as spirits. You will have a group called as spirits. Spirits will have alcohol concentration up to 47 to 48%. Okay, up to 47 to 48% you can have alcohol concentration in spirits. So liquor is divided into 3. You have beer, you have wine, and you have spirits. Spirits are further divided into scotch, you have whiskey, you have rum, you have gin, then you have what you can say vodka. So all of these spirits have global origin. Vodka is basically made from potato, gin is basically made from a combination of different fruits of the Mediterranean region, because the soils of Mediterranean region are slightly more acidic, so it tends to give a citrus flavor to the fruits, and using that a tropical mixture of fruits is used in manufacture of gin. But mind you, the alcohol concentration in spirits is the highest. Okay, so beer, then you have what I can say, the wines. Wines will have roughly 12% to 14%, and lastly you will have spirits. Okay, the alcohol in question is always ethanol. So what is the alcohol content in liquor? That whenever you will turn the bottle, whenever you will see that this is the alcohol percentage. So which chemical we are talking about? The chemical is ethanol. Okay, technically in this context, ethanol is a psychoactive drug. Please understand this. What drug is ethanol? It is a psychoactive drug that in low doses it reduces the level of neurotransmission in the body, leading to its typical intoxication effects. So what ethanol does in your body basically, so if you start drinking, okay, if you start drinking alcohol basically means it's a misnomer that you are drinking alcohol. You are not drinking alcohol, you are drinking liquor. Okay, which liquor you are drinking, depending on that you will have alcohol concentration in that liquor. So if you are drinking liquor, and what will liquor do? It will have ethanol. Ethanol will do what? Ethanol will reduce the neurotransmission. That is called as vasodilation. Please remember this, guys. This is called as vasodilation. Okay, vasodilation means what? Your veins get swelled up. Okay, your bodily veins, they swell up. So as it swells up, your blood flow increases, and as your blood flow increases, you start becoming sedated, you start becoming soothed. Why? Because blood now reaches every part of your body, and in that ethanol will do what? Ethanol will reduce the neurotransmission. So if you are feeling pain, so as soon as you get ethanol in your bloodstream, the pain will reduce. Hence, if a person is drunk and even if you hit him, it does not matter, he will get that hit and he will still be laughing. Okay, if you put his hand or legs in ice, he will not feel anything. Why? Because ethanol will do what? It will reduce the level of neurotransmission in the body. It will result into vasodilation. Please remember this. Your veins will get dilated and you will feel good. This is the intoxicating effect of ethanol. Okay. Contrary to the popular belief, the World Health Organization has found that no level of consumption is safe for our health. Okay, no level of consumption is safe for our health. Long-term use leads to dependence, heightens the risk of some cancers and heart diseases, and may eventually cause death. So according to WHO, no level of consumption is safe for our health. So please get this straight, and especially if you are preparing for civil services, then let it go. Okay, so now let us understand how ethanol is digested in the liver, because this digestion sequence is important for you to understand that why consuming spurious liquor is not that good. Okay, so this is little bit technical, this is a little bit of biology, so don't worry, I will explain it on the board too, using chalk and using my marker and the writing. So just have faith in me. Okay, inside the body, the ethanol is metabolized in the liver. Okay, you must have seen that those people who are over drunkards normally suffer from cirrhosis of liver. Why? Because ethanol is primarily metabolized in the liver. Okay, and the stomach by alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. So which is the enzyme which starts metabolizing the ethanol in the liquor? It is the ADH, alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. So this enzyme starts metabolizing the ethanol in the liquor to what? To acetaldehyde. To acetaldehyde. Okay, then the aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme, it is called as ALDH, transforms the acetaldehyde into acetate. Okay, the adverse effects of alcohol consumption from hangover to cancer are due to acetaldehyde. So whenever you will have ADH, the alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme starting to metabolize the ethanol, it will get converted into acetaldehyde. So the hangover which you have, the malignancy that you have, the chances of you developing cancer are due to acetaldehyde. And further, this acetaldehyde is broken up by the aldehyde dehydrogenase enzymes that transform the acetaldehyde into acetate. Okay, so there are two stages. As soon as you consume liquor, so depending upon which liquor you have consumed, so the liver will have to exert more. So the liver and stomach will secrete which enzyme? They will secrete ADH, alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, and they will convert the ethanol into acetaldehyde. Then which enzyme will be released by the body? ALDH, aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme, which will convert the acetaldehyde into acetate. And the hangover which you have, the chances of you developing cancer are due to what? Due to the acetaldehyde. Okay, now what is spurious liquor? This is very, very important. Okay, why spurious liquor is so damn potent? Why it is called as poison? Okay, spurious liquor is characterized by the liquid mixture containing methanol as well. So if anyone asks you, what do you mean by spurious liquor? So just answer them in one word, that in spurious liquor, in addition to alcohol, in addition to ethanol, you will also have what? Methanol. You will also have what? Methanol. Okay. And why methanol is mixed? To increase the intoxicating effect. Just remember this. To increase what? The intoxicating effect. Okay. Now whatever I'm saying, this is a live session on YouTube. Okay, and this may get circulated, but this is the harsh truth of Indian society. Now what happens if we go into the rural areas of India? There the men work tirelessly. They work in the agricultural fields. Okay, they work in whichever industry they are thrown into. Okay, so the quantum of work which is basically expected of them is very high, and so in order to counter that, in order to counter the pain, they resort to what? They resort to even more intoxication. Why? Because intoxication will do what? It will reduce their pain sensing. Why? Because ethanol will do what? Ethanol will reduce the neurotransmission, and methanol increases the intoxication effect. So hence the men, they resort to spurious liquor because they feel that if they consume this, they will have more intoxication. So this is a very sad part on the present status of the rural India with regards to their understanding of how dangerous this liquor is. Okay, Nida, don't worry, you all will get the PDFs. I will explain you how you can get that. Every day the people are getting, so don't worry. Now just focus on me. Okay, so what is methanol and why it is so goddamn potent? Okay, so there is a common liquor which is called as arak. Arak is a local liquor which has been found in Tamil Nadu. Okay, arak sellers had purchased industrial grade methanol from factories and sold it to victims. So arak is a local liquor which is homemade in that part of India, in Tamil Nadu, and arak is mixed with what? Industrial grade methanol. Just understand, so methanol is basically a industrial chemical. Okay, it was used by the Egyptians to basically heat up. It was used as a combustible agent. Okay, so basically a chemical which is used in industries, you are mixing it with alcohol and you are giving that to the victims. Okay, arak is distilled from the fermented sap of palm tree. So arak is the local liquor. In arak, methanol is mixed. In many older cases, such liquor is typically a homemade liquor such as arak, to which methanol was added to strengthen the intoxicating effects. In colloquial parlance, its kick, and to increase its bulk and volume. So you know Salman Khan's dialogue that what is necessary in life? Kick. So why methanol is mixed in the liquor? To increase its kick, to increase its intoxicating effect. So any homemade liquor, in that methanol is added, then it becomes spurious liquor. Please understand this very, very properly. What is spurious liquor? That any homemade liquor, in South India it is arak, in North India it is called separately. So in the homemade liquor you are adding methanol, and that methanol is industrial grade. And why you are doing this? To increase the intoxicating effect, so just get the kick. Okay, the Food Safety and Standards Alcoholic Beverages Regulation 2018 stipulate the maximum permissible quantity of methanol in different liquors. These values span a wide range, including absent in Counterfeit 50 grams per litre in the country liquor and 300 grams per 100 liters in post-distilled spirits. So it does not mean that the post-distilled spirits or country liquor does not have methanol, but that is there is certain acceptable limit. If you cross beyond that limit and if you use industrial grade methanol, then it will result into you become victim and you getting death. Okay, why methanol is so damn potent? Because Schedule 1 of Manufacture, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemical Rules 1989 includes methanol. So methanol is very, very potent. Even the Schedule 1 of Manufacture, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemicals 1989 includes methanol. Okay, in the pre-industrial era, going back to the ancient Egypt, people also made methanol by heating wood to a very high temperature. Methanol has several industrial applications, including a precursor to acetic halide formation and aromatic hydrocarbons. So, if you have a aromatic diffuser in your room, you normally see advertisements that you put aromatic diffuser. So in aromatic diffuser, what is used? Methanol is used. It is also used as a solvent and a antifreeze. In Tamil Nadu, manufacture, export, import and storage and sale of methanol requires license under 1959 rules. So just imagine a industrial grade chemical which is used for what? For making aromatic hydrocarbons, the diffusers that you have, which was used by Egypt to heat up the wood to a very high temperature, and which is used for as an anti-freezing agent, that is added to liquor, and that basically results in death. Now why it results in death, we need to understand this. So you got the reason that why spurious liquor is so damn potent. Why? Because it contains methanol. Now how methanol is metabolized in the body and what is the exact chemical reaction, that is now what we are going to focus. Okay, so how does spurious liquor kill? Now let us understand the mechanism. Okay. So let's move ahead. So once ingested, methanol is metabolized in the liver by ADH. You all know with the ADH enzymes to form what? Formaldehyde. So the ethanol was being converted into acetaldehyde, but the methanol is now being converted into formaldehyde. Then the ALDH enzymes convert the formaldehyde to form formic acid. So there ALDH enzyme was converting the acetaldehyde into acetate. Here the ALDH enzyme is converting the formaldehyde into formic acid. The accumulation of formic acid over time leads to painful condition called metabolic acidosis. Acidosis can lead to acidemia, a condition wherein the blood's pH level drops below its normal value of 7.3, it becoming increasingly acidic. So, one line definition as to how methanol kills you, as to how spurious liquor kills you. If you consume methanol, if you consume spurious liquor, so your blood will become acidic. So, as your blood becomes acidic, it will impair the organ function, it will lead to multiple organ failure and eventually will die. And methanol is also linked to damaging optical nerves. So in majority of the cases, dare I say more than 50% of the cases wherein the people have consumed this spurious liquor, they have suffered from permanent optical nerve damage and permanent blindness just within 24 hours. Okay, so it's very important you get this point. Okay, so let's move forward. As methanol is metabolized, the concentration of the bicarbonate ion drops, leading to acid gaining the upper hand. So basically the pH level of body is maintained by the OH hormone and the bicarbonate hormone. You don't need to understand this. Just understand that as methanol is metabolized, the pH level of the blood drops below 7.35, it becomes acidic. Okay, and consuming methanol also leads to methanol-induced optical neuropathy, a serious condition that may result in long-term or irreversible visual impairment or even blindness. So consuming methanol also leads to what? Methanol-induced optical neuropathy, wherein you can have a reduction in vision and also you can suffer from blindness. Okay. So two side effects of consuming methanol-induced spurious liquor. Number first, your pH level will drop down. Number two, because of this, you can also have blindness. Okay, so this is how the methanol kills you. This is how spurious liquor kills you. Okay, how can the poisoning be treated? So the treatments are twofold. Short term treatment, they are twofold, and you also have one long term treatment. So what are those two treatments? So treatments, there are two immediate ways to treat methanol poisoning. One is to administer ethanol. Of what grade? Pharmaceutical grade. This may sound counterintuitive that you are basically putting alcohol to kill another alcohol OH group, but there is a famous Hindi dialogue, like this being an English session, but I am so provoked now to use that dialogue. So that dialogue is from a movie called as Sholay. Okay, Sanjeev Kapoor says, "Lohe ko loha hi katta hai." So basically, alcohol is killing alcohol over here. So it is basically acting like a counter initiative, but yes, alcohol will help you in reducing the impact of other alcohol. Okay, this may sound counter initiative, but ethanol compensates very well with methanol for ALDH enzymes. Ethanol competes very well with methanol for the ALDH enzymes. As a result, the methanol is kept from being metabolized to formaldehyde. So between methanol and between ethanol, you have a competition that who will get the ADH enzymes, who will get first metabolized, and here methanol does not win, here ethanol wins. So basically, to counter the negative impact of methanol consumption, you are basically giving it ethanol. Okay, the other option is to administer an antidote called as fomepizole. Okay, please remember this antidote fomepizole, which has a similar mechanism. It slows the action of ADH enzymes, causing the body to produce formaldehyde at a rate that the body can quickly excrete, preventing the dead effects from kicking in. So if you give fomepizole, then again the action or the metabolism of ADH enzymes is reduced, giving the body time to excrete it quickly, and thus resulting or thus delaying the deadline effects from kicking in. So the optical nerve damage is reduced if you give this antidote. And the third thing you can do is that the healthcare workers also have the individuals undertake a dialysis to remove methanol and formic acid salts from the blood, mitigating the damage to the kidneys and retina. So you can also do dialysis. Okay. So now let me use the board and let me make you understand this article again completely, because this is one-stop article for you understanding why spurious liquor kills. Okay, morning Pramila. I hope that all of you are getting these articles properly. If any difficulty, please feel free to ask me. Please feel free to comment. Okay, so how spurious liquor kills basically? So if you consume liquor, okay, if you consume liquor, okay, so the liquor in the body, you are basically putting in what? You are basically putting in ethanol. You are basically putting in ethanol. So ethanol is the primary alcohol in the liquor. Alcohol in the liquor, and its concentration will vary. So you can have beer. So beer can have concentration ranging from 5 to 8. Then you can have wine. In wine, the concentration can go up to 12%. You can also have spirits. Okay, you can also have spirits. In spirits, the concentration may go up to 47, even 48%. Okay, so as soon as you consume the liquor, as soon as you consume the alcohol, which is ethanol, which enzyme is released? You have the enzyme called as ADH. Okay, alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. So this ADH will convert the ethanol into what? It will convert the ethanol into acetaldehyde. Okay, and after that, which enzyme will be released? It will be called as ALDH. Okay, ALDH will convert acetaldehyde into acetate. It will convert the acetaldehyde into acetate. Okay, and the negative side effects of consuming alcohol that you have is why? Because of acetaldehyde. So acetaldehyde will give you hangovers. It will give you hangovers, and it will also cause you what? It will also cause cancer in your body. So you can have malignancy in your body. So acetaldehyde. But now, what is spurious liquor? In spurious liquor, you are adding what? You are adding methanol. You are adding methanol. So the liquor can be homemade. Okay, it can be a homemade liquor. No need to buy the country liquor which is licensed. So it can be a homemade liquor. In Tamil Nadu, it was called as arak. Okay, arak. So arak was mixed with what? It was mixed with methanol, but this methanol was industrial grade. Okay, this methanol was industrial grade. And mind you, methanol is used in the industries as an anti-freezing agent, as a agent for forming aromatic hydrocarbons, the diffusers which you have. So this homemade liquor plus methanol, this both will give you what? This both will give you the spurious liquor. Okay, and spurious liquor, why it is consumed? Because it has more intoxicating effect. It has more intoxicating effect. As soon as you consume liquor, you have vasodilation, you have reduction in the neurotransmission, and hence it gives the intoxicating agent. So methanol will initiate, or it will give even more intoxicating effect. So basically it will kick you more. Hence the consumption of spurious liquor is so goddamn high in the rural India. Now, what is the main bone of contention? That as soon as you put methanol in body, okay, so ADH will convert the methanol into formaldehyde, and after this ALDH will convert the formaldehyde into formic acid, and this formic acid will do what? This formic acid will decrease the pH level of the blood, and the blood will become acidic, so this will result into organ failures. And also, if you consume methanol, it also induces methanol induced optical neuropathy. So it will also do what? It will also cause blindness, and it will also cause optical nerve damage. So these are the side effects of consuming methanol. It will cause blindness, it will cause optical nerve damage. And now, what are the treatments for this? So if I'm thinking about treatments, so what treatments can be induced? So treatments, you can have two short-term treatments. So short-term treatments, the first treatment is that you are ingesting ethanol. So ethanol will do what? Ethanol will compete for ADH. So that the methanol in the blood is not metabolized. And second, you can give a antidote called as pomipizole, and this pomipizole will also reduce what? It will also reduce the secretion of ADH enzyme, so that the body can excrete the methanol, and as the body excretes this methanol, the negative effects cannot kick in. So this is the main idea, or this is the complete issue with regards to consumption of spurious liquor. As of now, there is no potent regulation as to how you can regulate this. There needs to be some good regulation. It needs to be implemented on the ground level. So it is up to the district administration. It will be up to you in the future, those who are watching me, that how you can do this. Okay, so I hope this article was eye-opening to everyone, and that you should not consume any alcohol, be it in any quantities. Okay, now guys, this article is again very, very important today. Okay, this came as a very side article in the national news page on page number 12 of Hindu, but please remember that this article has very high chance of being asked in mains as well as in your interview and in prelims too. So for the first time, I'm giving you an article which is important from prelims, mains and interview. All of these three will be very, very important. Okay. So with militants changing track, Rajouri Poonch sector is an uphill task for security agencies. So up till now, the militancy was limited to Kashmir Valley. Now the militancy has shifted from Kashmir Valley to Pir Panjal. The militancy has now shifted from where? From Kashmir Valley to Bir Panjal. Okay, so if I am discussing with you all, what is this shift? Okay, what is this shift? So let us understand. Okay, so if you can see this part of India, okay, we need to understand the geography too. Okay, this is very important. Please focus on the board very, very properly. So all of you know, in India, you have three Himalayan ranges. You have Great Himalayas, you have Middle Himalayas, and you have Lower Himalayas. Okay, the Great Himalayas, they run from this part of India up till here. So this is the extent of Great Himalayas. The Shivaliks are the Lower Himalayas you have here and over here, whereas the Middle Himalayas are over here. Okay, so the middle Himalayas are basically sandwiched between the greater Himalayas and the Shivaliks. So the middle Himalayas are basically sandwiched between what? Between the great Himalayas and the Shivaliks or the lesser Himalayas. Because of this, the middle Himalayas are very deformed. Okay, the topography is very uneven. Okay, they are very deformed. Okay, and the topography is very uneven means what? That somewhere you will have very upscale kind of climb, somewhere you will have very deep depressions, and the ranges are not running in parallel. It's a very deformed kind of topography. Why? Because the middle Himalayas are sandwiched between great Himalayas and the Shivaliks. So the topography of the middle Himalayas, it basically resembles that of Afghanistan. Please understand this very, very properly. The topography of the middle Himalayas, it resembles the topography of Afghanistan. So now the militancies or the terrorist outfits are changing their modulus operandi. Now they are shifting their attention from Kashmir Valley, because now Kashmir Valley is properly stabilized. So they are shifting from Kashmir Valley to Pir Panjal region. They are shifting from Kashmir Valley to Pir Panjal region. Okay, if I'm drawing the atlas for you all of this region, so let me just quickly draw the atlas for you all of this region so that you get a bird's eye view. So if I'm considering Kashmir, so India is like this. Okay, so I'm drawing a full scale map of Kashmir for you. Okay, so so here you have Pathankot. So this is called as Pathankot. Okay, this is Pathankot. Okay, from Pathankot here you have Jammu. Here you have Jammu. Okay, from Jammu you start going. Here you have a town called as Udhampur. Here you have a town called as Udhampur. As soon as you cross Udhampur, you enter into middle Himalayas. So this is the Pir Panjal range. This is the Pir Panjal range. Okay, it is a part of middle Himalayas. Okay, as soon as you cross the Pir Panjal range, there is a very important tunnel or very important pass over here called as Banihal Pass. Okay, Banihal Pass. So Banihal Pass is basically the entry into Kashmir Valley. So as soon as you cross Banihal Pass, as soon as you cross Pir Panjal, you go into Srinagar. You go into Srinagar. And mind you, Srinagar is a valley. Okay, it's not a mountainous region, it's a valley region. So it's sandwiched between the mountain ranges. Here you have Great Himalayas going like this, and here you have the middle Himalayas. So it's a valley between the Great Himalayas and the middle Himalayas. So up till now, this valley was instigated by militants, but now they are shifting their focus from Srinagar to Pir Panjal. So here you have two areas. Here you have two areas. So this is A and B. So here you have Rajouri. Here you have Rajouri as A, and here you have Poonch. So Rajouri and Poonch, these two areas are now the hotspots of militancy. Why? Because this area resembles the territory of Afghanistan over here. This area resembles the Pamirs of Afghanistan. Why it is so goddamn deformed? Because here you have the Himalayas, Great Himalayas, and here you have Shivaliks. Between them, these two are sandwiched. So till now, the Kashmir Valley was stabilized, but now the Kashmir Valley, the focus is now shifting from Kashmir Valley to Pir Panjal. Basically, the militants are taking the advantage of topography. So guys, see how geography affects the socio-economic conditions too. Okay, how it affects the security challenges. So because of this uneven topography, the security forces are now facing an uphill task. Because all of you know that the terrorists have to be lucky only once, whereas the security forces have to be lucky every goddamn time. So that is the main difference over here, and here the advantage of topography is for the militants. Okay, so let's open up the article and try to analyze what this article is actually about. Okay, militants are changing tack in the Pir Panjal Valley to outsmart the security agencies and surveillance longer in the region with topography as tough as the Afghanistan's mountains. So already our military forces were stretched, but now they are being stretched even further. Why? Because the militants are changing their tactics to survive longer, and they are now using a topography which resembles the Afghanistan's mountains. Okay, The Poonch Rajouri sector has witnessed 18 deaths, 10 army jawans, 7 civilians and 1 militant so far this year. Okay, this seems to indicate that the militants have shifted their focus to a new region once declared zero military zone with waning military activities from 2007-2019. So, the Poonch Rajouri sector was declared zero militancy zone from 2007 to 2019, but now they are shifting their focus. Why? Because now militants feel that they are outnumbered in the valley. So now they are taking the topographical advantage. Okay. So now what are they doing? What are they basically using this? So after infiltration, they either head towards a sympathizer, a person who sympathizes with them, a person who will give his house to them, whose geo coordinates are known and fed to their phones like that of, okay, let's not go into the names. So their coordinates are already fed into their phones. And what is the change in strategy? This is very, very important. Okay, so now the change in strategy is use of smart sleeper cells. Smart sleeper cells means up till now, if you were to zone in on the sleeper cells, so sleeper cells are those militants who are basically asleep till the time they are called in to do the operation, till the time they are called in to do the anti-state activities. But now the sleeper cells are themselves becoming smart, so it's very difficult for identifying them. So they are so goddamn entrenched into the society, into the local economy, that it becomes very difficult that whether to identify this person is a sleeper cell or not. Okay, the impenetrable means of communication and high level of training that militants are being given to fight and survive in the hostile forces. So you have smarter sleeper cells, you have impenetrable means of communication, that is important from prelims perspective, and high level of training that militants are given to fight and survive the hostile forces. Okay, militants are using which technologies? They are using YSMS technologies, which is hard to detect. The encrypted messages leave no digital footprint and make it almost impenetrable. What is YSMS technology, guys? YSMS technology is that technology which works on very high frequency. So the militants do what? They pair their smartphones with the local radios. So they don't require the network of the operators like Jio, Airtel, Vodafone. Okay, they are basically using very high frequency for communication. So simple one liner in prelims. What is YSMS technology? That technology which uses very high frequency as the nodal frequency for communication. And mind you, this is completely encrypted end to end, hence they leave no digital footprint and make it almost impenetrable. Another use of technology is offline seamless phone activation. Okay, where Bluetooth is used for communication and pre-fed locations are followed onto the offline applications on the phone. So now instead of using the mobile networks, you are using Bluetooth for communication, and it is offline seamless phone activation. So see how smart they have become. Okay, and the name of the app is Alpine app, to escape after the attack on the prefed routes. So they are using offline applications like Alpine. You remember we discussed one article where I mentioned you the names of the some of the applications. So we discussed Thema, we discussed Alpine. So Alpine is a offline navigation app which basically is used by the militants to fed the militancy attacks when the military resorts to them, when the military starts attacking them, and they are already fed with pre-fed routes. Pre-fed routes means their route is already fixed, that if the military starts attacking you, use this pre-fed route to evade it. Okay, hundreds of divided families with relatives across the LOC and the growing number of locals migrating to Gulf countries have allowed a triangular means of communication and remain a cause of concern for the security agencies. Guys, please remember this triangular means of communication. What do you mean by triangular means of communication? Now, get through this map. Okay, get through this map. Okay. So, already, okay, let's use the world atlas so that you get this properly. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, so what is triangular means of communication? Okay, so this is our India over here. Okay, this is, okay, so this is our India over here like this. Okay, so now what is happening? The families across LOC are divided. Some of them are living in the Baltistan sector of Pakistan, and some of their relatives have migrated to where? They have migrated to Gulf countries. They have migrated to Saudi Arabia. They have migrated to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kuwait, okay, to Dubai. So their migration is towards the Gulf countries over here. So now, because of this, what is happening? You are having a triangular means of communication. How is that triangle? The triangle is like this. So you have migration over here, you have information relayed across LOC, and this is being related to the families over here. So this is called as triangular means of communication. They are sending remittances directly to their family members over here. The sympathizers are giving them money to the militants, and the militants are using that money for acquiring new technologies for event training. So this is now the triangular means of communication, which is a very uphill task for the families. So you have families divided across LOC. Some of their relatives have migrated to Gulf countries. So it's a game of remittances. It's a game of cross-border transactions. Okay, so I'm again reiterating. Okay, hundreds of divided families with relatives across the LOC and growing number of local migration to Gulf countries have allowed a triangular means of communication and remain a cause of concern for the security agencies. And what the police needed? With just 300 policemen to man the entire Rajouri-Poonch sector, the thinning out of troops is allowing militants to roam freely, compensated with the past. So there are only 300 policemen in such an important sector. So you need to have police reforms, you need to increase their strength too. Okay, so this was, guys, one of the most eye-opening article now in the changing tactics of militancy in the Jammu and Kashmir area. Please use this very properly. Please quote this in GS paper 3. You can have a very simple question, comment on the changing tactics, or comment on the recent challenges with regards to maintaining security in Jammu and Kashmir in the militant affected areas of India. So this article will serve as a bedrock article wherein the focus has now shifted from Kashmir Valley to Rajouri-Poonch. They are taking the advantage of the local topography which resembles the Afghan mountains, and most importantly, it is necessary for you to understand that they are now using advanced technologies like YSMS, which works on very high frequency. So they are basically pairing their smartphones with the radio, and they are using that, and they also have offline SIM based activation wherein Bluetooth is used for communication, and all of this is end-to-end encrypted. And you have offline map apps like Alpine, wherein the escape routes are already pre-fed to the militants, so that whenever military starts attacking on them, they can evade very easily. Okay. Last article is a very encouraging article that India moves closer to getting the first indigenous vaccine against dengue. Okay, all of you know dengue, there is no treatment as such for now. Okay, drug makers Serum Institute of India and Panacea Biotech respond to call for phase 3 clinical trials according to senior official. So the Serum Institute of India and Panacea Biotech are basically making this drug, and it's in the phase 3 trial. Okay. ICMR says that dengue viral disease causes significant morbidity and mortality across the globe, and in India 2 to 2.5 lakh cases are reported annually. You know, dengue, it has got basically 4 stereotypes. You have different 4 strengths, and dengue basically results into decrease in blood plates. So if your blood plate decreases, your immunity decreases, and then you suffer from various life-threatening conditions, and ultimately you die. Okay, so as of now there is no specific. Okay, so this summarizes the entire part of Hindu today. I hope that, sorry, there was some lag in the session, so I hope the session is now resumed properly. So here I summarize everything for you all. My name is Pritesh Mathurkar. You can reach out to me on Telegram. The name of the channel is HAZ. HAZ stands for the Hindu Analysis Zone. It's your duty that you make it special. It's your duty that you work upon the content wherein you will get the direct PDFs of whatever I have discussed. For joining this channel, you can directly do a global search on Telegram. It is called as the Hindu Analysis Zone. So please join this channel. Please use these PDFs to supplement your answers properly, and make sure that whatever we are working upon, you are getting that content properly. Okay. So on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English, I thank each and every one of you for joining me this morning. Please keep on working hard and smart, and please take good care of yourself. Till then, adios, bye bye. See you all tomorrow sharply at 9 a.m. for discussion of 18th of May of current affairs. Okay, so see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Anu. Welcome.